What is up, guys? It is me again, okay, Glennis. Alright, so, as you, and the dogs in the, at, my neighbor's house that lives behind me just started barking. I don't think that was for me, that they're barking for me. I don't think they can hear that well. Alright. As you can see in the title of this video, what does Satan do every time you fall into his traps? Every time you fall into the sins that he tempts you with, what does he do? Now, there's not any biblical scripture to support what I'm going to tell you in this video, but it does, I hope it does make you grow in faith. And you're going to be like, how can we grow in faith by you telling us what the devil does every time we sin? Well, let me wait a second to drink some of this, then I'll tell you. Pretty good. All right. The devil loves it when we fall into his traps. He loves it when we fall into temptation that he tempts us with. Here's this, though. Remember this. The devil will never tempt you with any sin that he knows that you won the victory over. Because he knows that there's no use in tempting you with sin when you're not going to be tempted, when you are much stronger than that temptation, to resist it very easily. So for me, it's alcohol and energy drinks now. I don't get too tempted or anything like that with them, because I've been away from them for a long time now, not one drop of alcohol since September of 2022, not one energy drink since January of last year, so a year. All right, so he will only tempt you with the sins that he knows that you're struggling with. And when he sees that you're starting to get the hang of resisting them, starting to slowly but surely starting to win the victory over them and going into them less and less, he'll tempt you with them tenfold, meaning 10 times harder than before, to make sure that you will fall into those sins again. Now, here's the part right here that I've heard the devil does when we fall into his traps. Right here. When we sin against God, just like the devil wants us to, the devil goes not to heaven, because he can't go to heaven, but somehow he speaks with God face to face. And he tells God face to face, see, he's not your son anymore. He's my child. He's obeying me by sinning against you and disobeying you. He's not your son anymore. So why do you keep trying to win him back? Why do you keep loving him? He's my son, not yours. You don't need to keep on loving him anymore. He's going to just keep sinning and sinning and sinning against you. And you know what God says? God says, Satan, I don't care what you say. I love him. He's my child. He's my son. I'm going to try as many times as it takes to get him back to me over and over and over and over and over again. I will never stop. I love him with an everlasting love. I sent my own son to die on the cross to save him from his sins. So I'm still going to give him many more chances to come back to me. I love him dearly. I believe, unfortunately, there's no scripture to back up what I'm saying right there, that the devil and God really have a face-to-face talk like that. But think of it like an example like this. Just because you're sinning against God over and over and over again, yes, that's unacceptable. But he still loves you so much. He will never stop loving you. There's nothing you can ever do to God that will make him stop loving you, or love you even more than he does, or any less. He loves you so, so much. Even when you go to hell, or even if you go to hell, God will still love you. He has to punish sin, but he will still love you. That's why it hurts him so much for him to see his creation, his humans that he created, going to hell. Because half the world is going to be in hell. Unfortunately, there's around 8.5 billion people in this world, and more than half of them, maybe even twice as half of them, are going to go to hell. And maybe only not even 2 billion people are going to go to heaven. So that's sad, but it's the world that we live in. So tell me what you guys think about this video below.